Any birds out in the west, north Ottawa?
Yeah, I wasn't there. Not lately.
Okay, it's 9 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order and stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you have an agenda. Are there any additions, changes? Otherwise, I'd look for a motion to approve it.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion and second, yeah, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting minutes. Oh, you said you sent us a corrected one, or there is a
I
corrected?
handed out the corrected one.
Okay.
For each commissioner.
And the only change was the name you said?
Yes, that was the only change.
When the statement where we appointed you and Jamie to the budget committee, is that clear enough that that's in addition to the existing budget committee, or?
Yes.
I mean, we're fine with it.
So under the coordinator, when there is a motion made and a second, it doesn't have any results. None of these have results.
And carried. I kinda used the same. Was there supposed to be a roll call?
No,
So I've taken the same methodology that was used in the past. So if it was and carried, would you like me to include motion carried? How would you like?
A motion was made.
It says that then carried to approve on some of these motions.
yeah, I see in the end carried, yeah, I thought we always had like an MCU at the end of it, so motion carried unanimously. And maybe that's fine, it's just that.
This is what Chad received.
I
That's the way it
took it under the same
Yeah.
methodology that Chad had used.
Yeah,
I looked at a couple of prior board agenda minutes. And kind of carried it forward so that it was the same look.
Yeah,
If you'd like me to change it, I can.
I'm looking at some past minutes and I see I know what you mean, but historically we haven't, at least a couple I've looked at here.
I would think though, Mr. Chair, like if it was like a 3-2 vote, didn't Chad break that down?
Yes.
And-
Then it has to be listed individually.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, and then the names of, who voted yes, who voted no.
yes,
Right.
correct.
Yeah, that has to be in there, when it's that way, but if it's just, when a motion was made and carried, that means all 5 of us voted.
Yep.
Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
If you'd like to see it a different way, or
No,
Doesn't matter to me, as long as we,
take your lead on it. Is there a motion to approve the
So,
second
Second,
discussion? On favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh. There. Approval of the warrants. Morning.
morning.
Sounds like we lost a check to Cummins Sales and Service in the mail and was reissued. Did that check get canceled? Do you know?
That I don't know.
Okay. I would presume it would be. It's happened before. Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Okay, we have a motion to pay the bills. There a second?
second.
Discussion? On favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The bills are approved. So. Jen, you're on at 9:15. So you have 8 minutes that we can talk about other things. This, what Ken does.
Yeah.
Come on up here.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
A fall day today.
I just got it. this morning.
So
On my way.
There's a lot to that, Joe.
looking at John's email, looks like we're commencing to,
Where you come from.
the move is in progress or done or?
Well, not quite done, but
Questions called.
it's in progress, yep. For the, we're working over there, dispatches over there.
So from your standpoint and kind of give us your vision and on how that is taking place and how it's going.
Yeah,
for
well, I
everyone.
think it's going as well as it can. Yeah, moving's sometimes it can be a mess, so. Yeah, so. No, dispatch is working well over there and. The data, moving the data was a big process and. It was, with the help of a lot of people.
More electronics.
More select,
Fulfill their obligation to.
yes, yep, Motorola, yep. A big thank you to them, yeah, they put in many hours.
So there's a lot of different or new technology or equipment that we're using now, or just a matter of relocating?
It's just a matter of relocating,
So
yep.
there's
yeah.
not a lot new in the sense.
No, I mean, we might have updated a couple things, but for the majority, old dispatch was brought over to the new dispatch, so. Yep, so,
So were those dispatch, since we're talking about that? Obviously, the conditions are a lot
safe.
better, I would think. I mean, from an operational standpoint
Yes.
and a work setting, is it?
Yeah, it's secure, it's safe. Even like the deputies, like we have our own processing area now, it's, everyone will have a home and it'll be safe and secure, so. Yeah, it's really fun.
Was everybody, is everything out of the courthouse done or?
Not
still?
quite, no, I was just there, there's still a couple things that we need to move, but. For the majority, it's out, so, I would say by the end of the week. Cause I know, I think Carl, I think they're itching to get in, so. Yeah, it's really nice, so come on over and
Yeah.
see it.
This kind of the schedule, what we were looking at, I mean, they're pretty close to,
Yeah,
which is really, pretty good. Of course, we had a really good winter, I suppose.
we did, yep, and a good summer, so.
Yeah,
Good timing and hot mix going in there and curbing.
Yep,
That's gonna be
that's,
beautiful.
that's all done. We can't drive on it yet, but,
No, well, they gotta put the workhorse on,
okay,
and that's Friday, sounds like.
okay,
Monday you get there.
perfect. Yeah,
So have you had your first client in there yet then?
in the booking no, not yet. We've done a couple UAs. Which they have finally, they have their own secure bathroom. We don't have to take them into the public bathroom.
You still got time to be the first one to spend a little time. in it.
Yeah.
I suppose we could pull something, I suppose, but if you want.
It's ready.
We'll be done here, don't make your plans.
Can you wait until like, I don't know, 6? I should be done with work.
Don't you go out like a ditch, for old chairs? Like a stanchion, we can go get a stanchion.
Yeah, that's probably what I need.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, no, it's I'm sure it's a weird feeling for the dispatchers where they can get up and go to the bathroom.
Oh, gosh, yeah,
Going out in the hall and,
Processing.
Yeah.
Be
you know.
180% do.
oh, yeah.
Like, which station and now, is in there is the main station where they're gonna sit most of the time?
Like
Or can
when
they
I,
take their pick?
they could take their pick, but, like in the mornings, like when I get there, early in the mornings, some of the deputies from the night before are sitting in dispatch, just, ready
That's
to
good.
go home.
That's good because the public comes in there and the deputy right there,
Yeah.
And I talk to him.
Yeah.
They can, come out, take them in, I suppose they take them into that. If somebody wants to chat or make a complaint or whatever, they can take them. They take them right into that first office.
Yeah.
right?
No, we have a soft interview room.
Yeah, that's what I.
First
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yep, the first one,
That's
yep.
what I meant.
And it's very, very comfortable because I had many people that were victims like of sexual assaults. They said, like in our old office, like this is not a comfortable office
No.
to spill like so that is a very comfortable office. It's, yep. And then if we're doing interrogation, we take them downstairs to the processing and we have our own interview room there and it's capable of, phone lines so we can call an interpreter. It's very modern.
So then,
Yes.
so then when you're recording on like a hard interview, is there a button down there that you push to activate that or dispatch doing it?
No, so we would just use our recorders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and nothing recording. No.
Okay.
No, we would have to use our recorders.
So there's no video down there,
Oh, yeah, no, there is video. Yeah, but that's always recording, so,
right? Okay.
so how about, courthouse security? I know we talked about equipment for the law,
courthouse security grant, yep.
yeah, has the court system raised up and said, now
Yeah.
that you're not here?
Oh, no, they haven't. We all met as a committee. I wrote the grant and I haven't heard anything, but I think it was the end of November is when they were gonna. I'll have to look back at the timelines, but it was a bit, yeah. So, we requested more cameras. In our absence, because there is a lot of voids that could be captured. Mhm.
In that area, you mean? Or,
Throughout the whole courthouse,
oh, okay, yeah.
so.
There's still a bailiff that's up there during court,
If it's in person, we are up there.
so that has,
So arraignments, you're up there,
If they're in person.
not in custody and. Like say the, all the speeding tickets come in and when they're going into the court, in and out of the court. There's probably somebody up there then.
Yeah, Yep, and it, you know, there is a new schedule that, depending on the crime you committed, if it's gonna be in person or Zoom. So I think it'll be a little bit more bailiffing that we're gonna have to do.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I would think so.
yeah, yeah,
That's all right.
yeah, we'll just, you know, if it gets to be too much for the deputy working, then we'll probably have to look at just a bailiff like we used to have,
Mhm.
so.
Grant
And,
agreement,
yep, to enter into a grant agreement to work with OTS. Yep.
okay,
So moved.
we got a second,
I'll second that.
okay, Carl, did you? You got the rest of that, or you were,
Yes. So there's a motion to approve. The fiscal agent inside the agreement,
yep.
Yeah, there's a resolution right here.
the resolution.
Yeah.
Is there any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. You can sign yes.
There, after this. Yep,
Thank you, guys.
if you come now, you'll get an extra minute,
We're gonna get done sooner.
means you ask you questions.
Good morning.
Morning.
Can I go?
Yes.
Okay.
The first thing I have is, so last meeting, you approved the vacation donation. New policy or program. We do have somebody that is actually requesting to, use that policy. He is, in our highway department going through some personal things. And so he's requested, we've had many people call asking to donate when we're gonna get this approved. So are here to get you approved, to open the request or open the donation program for this individual.
You know, you've vetted it out, it meets the requirements of
Yep,
of the
he
policy.
has
And
the proper paperwork filled out and we're ready to go.
was there a motion to grant that request based on Ashley's recommendation?
So move, Mr. Chair.
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh,
All right, thank you. So I
Carried.
will send an email out to all of the employees, letting them know that this program is open for this individual and that they can, they can donate, and then I'll work with the auditor's office to get those funds or those hours transferred over into his bank. So the second thing I have is just a request, a request to extend Maya Ulrich's current schedule. He's finding with the ending of the year with the campground, it's a lot of things still need to be done. And so he's looking for an extension just to work his part-time hours. So what he's currently doing is Monday through Thursday, 8 to noon. So then he has presence here every day, Monday through Thursday. And so he'd look to continue that schedule until November 4th and then come on full-time November 4th, because then everything would be wrapped up over there. So
and
I don't know if
this was, how much different than what we first started, or was there any?
this was the same. It was 2 days, and then, so he was doing 2 days, full days. And then he asked if he could do just 4 days of mornings, and then he's in the office then every day, Monday through Thursday, not Fridays, but and so this would be the same schedule. Just to get things wrapped up for him. And then November 4th, full-time.
Yeah, they gotta drain that campground. There's a lot of work to be done out there. just
Yeah.
For the season,
Mhm.
And there's nice weather too, and there's still people out there.
probably.
He said water lines were shutting down today,
Oh,
Could be.
so campers are gone, or I don't know.
Yeah, they're shallow, so they gotta blow everything out there.
Mhm.
Plus take this off.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It is.
So does this require, you want motion, or you just let the minutes reflect it? Or do you, and
I don't know if it needs a motion.
probably not.
More of a,
So I think let's approve it.
Okay,
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine. Is there a motion then to approve the request for Maya for the temporary work schedule as recommended by Ashley?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion?
One thing I would say is that, let's say it was recommended by the personnel committee, not an individual.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yes, because it was sent out to the personnel committee prior to coming here, so we did go through the proper channels.
You got that, Carl? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we got 2 minutes. What would you like to add? How are you doing? You got
Mhm.
things happening?
We're trying to hire, but
Like,
we had a retirement, so we're filling a sign tech HEO position. So we're interviewing internally today. We'll see how that goes, and then hopefully get that one filled.
who retired?
John Plaster.
We did.
Yep, so he is off to do what he wants to do. So, we're getting into the busy time of open enrollment. Health insurance premiums went out yesterday. We did get about a 12% increase. Which is not great, but it's better than last year. Last year was 19, so. I sent out that information out. We'll have open enrollment in November. We have Aflac coming next week. Aflac will be here to sign people up for benefits, change benefits, anything like that. And then all of our voluntary benefits, the dental division, long-term disability life, that open enrollment will be in November. The insurance committee has been meeting, to look over the benefits, looking over kind of a dental plan too. There was a bit of an increase on dental. So we're looking at some other options to see if it would be the time to change, to stay. And so if we do decide to make a change, obviously I'll be coming to the board with that. And so, yeah, busy time with open enrollment right now. So, any questions?
12 is bad, but it's not the 26% Western Prairie took.
It is, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We did have our first meeting with David Brown for the wage study.
yes, we did. So we're gonna be starting that process of talking with our department heads tomorrow. To start the job description development and things like that, so it's moving, so. Any questions?
Time is now up.
Okay.
Matt is waiting
outta here.
anxiously. Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah.
Morning.
Good morning,
Commissioners.
Hello, man.
The item in front of them. Back on September 10th, we opened bids for County Road 34 project. We did get 6 bids, which was great, which is 4 more than we got previously. The low bidder was Joe Riley Construction in the amount of $899,457.53. Roughly $27,000 under what we estimated the cost to be. So I did send this down to MnDOT. They did give concurrence to move forward with the project, and I'm currently working on the grant agreement for the bridge bonding for this project, which I would assume would come probably to the next board meeting for approval. So at this point, we're just looking for awarding the contract to the low bidder, Joe Riley Construction.
And it was sent out in the packet, the motion to accept the low bidder based on Matt's recommendation.
So move, Mr. Chair.
As a recommendation from the highway committee, I will second that.
Is there any discussion?
Estimated, assuming everything from the state comes through, when are they gonna start?
They won't start till next spring.
Right, but it'd be May probably.
Yeah, mid-May most likely start.
Estimated 2 months.
I would assume it's normally gonna be about 2 to 2.5 weeks for each box culvert, and then probably 2 weeks for paving, so about a month and a half worth of work.
So those box culverts, Matt, they're gonna be ordered then at any time.
Yep, once we get contracts signed up,
Right.
put the order in for those. Get those going. We did open bids for 55 and Stony Brook Township, and I'll probably be bringing those to the board here in the next meeting.
Okay.
Busy next year.
Yeah, it's just the start of it.
It's good.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Oh, you got 2 minutes.
Well, that's the end of the agenda.
Okay, you're off.
Motion to adjourn. No.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Matt, does Friday work for you? At 1 o'clock?
Yeah, Friday would work for me. So
Okay, sure.
I'll just,
We just talked about here.
I'll call Ron and make sure he's on board for that time.
So like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And if Ron can't come, you'll look up, let us know.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Thank
Very
you.
good, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Ashley was wondering if she could have one more extension to her vacation donation.
You can. Come on down.
I forgot, I had it laying right on top of it and I forgot to bring it. So speaking of John Foster retiring, he requested, so he retired last Tuesday. Well, I couldn't get the vacation, the individual's request approved until today, of course. And so John Plaster was wondering if his sick time that he has, cause he doesn't get it paid out. He was wondering if that could be transferred into this employee's vacation request. He doesn't get it paid out, it'll zero out. He was just wondering if we can move it in.
How much is it? How much time over?
Well, he can only donate, it would be the max of what he can donate. It's more than that. I don't know if it was a couple hundred. And so he was just wondering if he could get that, and I thought it needed board approval because he retired and he's currently gone already. And now that we just got this approved today, so I didn't feel I could make the decision on my own without board approval.
Well, I think that he wanted to do it when he was an employee here, right?
Yes, he signed it. He signed a paper that said that he'd like to donate his sick time to him.
Yeah, and then. So he didn't really have a chance to get in front of the board when we were meeting, so I would think that'd be all right with me anyway.
So, good question, is there a maximum amount that and request can receive?
The individual can only receive, I believe it was 520 hours. Yep. And I think I'd have to look back at I don't have the policy in front of me, but if it was 80 hours that an employee can donate, I'd have to look at that again, but he wants to, whatever the max is, he wants to be able to donate that.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chair, to allow that to happen.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
I would like to, I know we're supposed to get a second first, but I'd like to table this till the next meeting, just to go through this. It's setting a precedent that I don't know that I'm against, but I don't want to do it on spur of the moment either.
Well, one of the issues, and once again, we could wait till we get it, would be, and the reason I asked the amount is if there's donations that max the situation out, then this wouldn't be material.
No, if he gets the 520, if he gets the max and then somebody else donates, they get that back. So then yeah,
That would go and coincide with what Troy said, because
mhm.
am I saying that right, Carl?
I understand, like, are you? Because under the policy, it states that they have to have 80 hours left in their vacation or their
Mhm.
sick time.
Mhm.
Would that be still in place that he would still need 80 hours? Or? Again,
Right,
this is
'cause he's gone.
deviation from all of it.
Yeah, cause he is gone, so he's not. So if you wanna set an amount that can be donated, I don't know.
Okay, so he had like 200 hours, you said,
I wanna say he said he had
and he wanted to donate it all.
he wants to donate whatever the max would be, which
So that would be,
that leave 80 hours left in his bank per the policy.
Yeah.
But he's already retired and gone.
right.
So,
But he asked to do that when he was an employee.
yes,
So if there would have been a commissioner meeting before that, we'd have had that.
if we would approve this before. Yes, before he retired, he'd have been donating the time.
Right.
What I was getting at is there a max that the person can receive? You said 500 and some hours.
520.
What I was getting at is, let's pay forward, and what Troy's saying, well, let's say that happens. That this person gets 520 hours from other employees. Then deviating from the policy, we wouldn't need to.
Mhm.
Would that, am I saying it right?
Yeah. So do you
So-
wanna wait to see what he gets?
I'm not sure, Troy, help me out.
I want more time to go through this. I'm not against this. It's just when this policy, I didn't envision this when we went through the policy, this scenario.
Mhm.
So I'm glad you brought it up because it was brought up at the first commissioners meeting. I think we just need to table this issue So we froze everything as is until the next meeting, so we can do a little. Cause yeah, I mean, that, he's not here, he doesn't need the whole 80 hours. So do we do the whole thing, or do we do what it? We need to do a little more work on this, I think.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay,
and we'll
I'll
still
rescind that
accept,
motion.
we'll still accept the donations coming in for current employees, and then if you guys, if you want me to come back next week.
So if Dwight rescinded that, I'll make a motion to table this until our October 15th meeting.
But I do think that, you know, if we can, I do think at some point we should use his hours and not take away from current employees sick time, because they might need it when it comes, when their time comes, right?
Mhm.
So, you know, I think if we can use,
If we table it, it'll come up in 2 weeks and then we'll.
so,
Okay,
okay,
You want a motion?
We have a motion.
So do we have a second to Troy's motion?
I'll second that.
Okay. Does that make sense to you, Carl?
Yes.
Is that a yeah?
Yes, there is, yes.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
yeah, I'm done now. I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. Coordinator,
All right, there was a request by Erdahl Township to receive their ARPA funds of $2,000. In your board packets, there's included the paperwork that they submitted. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the ARPA money request to Erdahl Township for $2,000.
is there a motion to that effect?
Motion approved, Mr. Chair.
A second?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
We got a question, Carl?
Yes.
So is that about the last township now then, or do we know? It's gotta be getting close.
thank you.
Well, they were, so I know they had mailed it prior to September 1st.
Yeah.
So if we haven't gotten it by now, it probably hasn't been mailed by our deadline.
Right, right.
Yeah, like their date on here was 8/13 for Erdal.
Yeah.
One other township, I don't know which one was.
Did the income worth? No.
I need to look into the ARPA funds a little bit more, just to make sure who has and who has not. But that's something that I need to work, chat with you and see where we're at with those funds.
We're about down to the bottom, if much left.
We were carrying like 2,300 or something.
The other item that I had was the opioid settlement annual public meeting. I met with them about 2 weeks ago and they had set a date of October 16th for that. I do believe they do need a county coordinator or county commissioner to be at that meeting. I don't recall who was the board member who was
I'm on
on
that.
that.
Yeah.
What time on the 16th?
That is from 11:30 to 12:30. And it is in this room,
What time?
11:30 to 12:30.
Yeah, I can't make that on the 16th.
Yeah, the emails were all sent out.
Yeah, I
Yes,
see.
and I sent out email. as
I
well.
put it up, I put it there, but I don't care. It don't make any difference. Whoever,
I don't,
I know I can't make it, so if there's somebody else that can.
I can't either. I'll probably be gone.
okay.
Okay. So. Bill will be designated to, and will you be attending? Carl?
I will be attending as well.
Yeah.
Who's all involved in it? Is that Horizon and
Horizon,
Western
Public
Prairie?
Western Prairie.
Yeah.
I had, there was also the parole officer, he was
Yeah.
here,
Tony?
Tony.
Tony was here. And that's pretty much everybody who was in the room that day.
Good.
So maybe you'll find more out about it. And are there timelines that we're getting pushed up against that we need to be moving this group forward quicker than we are? Or
From talking with the group at this point in time, there's $85,000 that was granted to Grant County. So right now what they're in the process of doing is figuring out how they're gonna spend the opiate money here within Grant County.
Okay.
So there've been a couple of different ideas thrown around. I believe that's what they're gonna be talking about at the annual meeting here. Just some different opportunities or things that went forward, what we can do.
Every year you have a community meeting that partners can come and bring ideas of how to spend this money. This is not, Grant County's not gonna spend this money. Western Prairie's probably not gonna spend. It's community partners that will get this money. It just comes through Grant County / Western Prairie. And your timeline is we're in year 2, I think, of 18 years. So we've got,
It ain't much per year.
it's front loaded. So there's more now
In the
than
beginning,
what, by year 15 through 18, there really isn't gonna be any money coming in.
Dave? What else does Carl have for us?
Things that are kind of on my docket right now is I'm gonna be updating the tobacco policy. That was one thing that at the opioid meeting, we discussed about our tobacco policy and how it's so out of date. I was sent some updates on what that should look like, basically to follow, the new law, the laws that are regarding tobacco. I'm also
Let
gonna,
me stop you there. So Grant County actually has a tobacco policy that based on law statute that affects license sellers or people or
it's
what? Help me out.
smoking in public.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's regarding smoking in public.
So the policy or ordinance?
It's our ordinance.
Okay.
Yep. And the other thing that I am also gonna be questioning is if Grant County has a ordinance numbering system. So I'm gonna kind of work with Justin a little bit, and Chad, and see if there's anything that I should be, if we have a plan in place to make sure that they're all in order and we're not stumbling over the same ordinance numbers. So I need to look at that. And then the other thing that I'm gonna start looking into is the cannabis. And I'll be reaching out to each one of the commissioners to kind of get some questions on your feel or how I should kind of be drafting the ordinance for the cannabis policy. So I want to get all of your input, and so I'll be giving you a call. I'm probably gonna look into it next week, and if I can get to this by November 1st is my goal, is to have something drafted and in front of you to look at. That's what my goal is.
and then the cities kind of pair, with some form of fashion of,
Yes, and that's my intention too, is to reach out to the cities and kind of see
Yeah.
if they're planning on doing anything.
So
There's gonna be a lot
They have
of.
to.
Yeah,
is it
everybody
possible?
has to.
Is it possible that a city could have had or will have had a request or needed to make a decisions prior to when we've done something?
They could have, yes.
And is that material for us or them?
I need to do more research. I need to dig into it and read into it, and I need to actually read the statute. And I need to read the statute, digest it, read the statute again.
Yeah.
And then I'll need to call to the cities, and look at some of the other stuff the AMC has out there for cannabis right now. And then again, it's your guys' opinion too. Do you want the Wild West or do you want it to regulate them? So, I mean, that's the two extremes of what we're looking at, so.
I think cities are obligated for the hours of operation for the dispensaries. And I think any of these meso businesses and micro businesses, that's a state license. But it's gotta be regulated, distance from a school, distance from a daycare. I mean, there's a lot of, pieces that need to be put together for our ordinance actually. And I would have to think that there's different counties that are gonna have different ordinances in place. So,
From the couple of examples that I've seen of it so far, no two are alike.
none. Exactly.
There'll be 87 different
There'll be 87 different ways to do it.
Yeah.
So on that though, I would recommend you don't call us. I would say send out questions you need answered. Cause that would be consensus building. That conversation needs to happen here in an open meeting.
Right. Yeah, and I can, Jeff.
You can send out the questions, it's just the conversation needs to happen here, not even individually, it would be consensus building.
Okay. So that'll be what I do, is then is send out a questionnaire and.
Yeah.
Put that up. So that's how I'll kind of proceed forward with that is, I just need to get through all these.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things right now, and it's, yeah. I've been to the AMC conference, the MAAO conference, and then the MECA conference, and so I need the conferences to kind of like slow down or stop, and then I can, like, after this week, it'll be much better. I'll be in the county more.
Don't let them overwhelm you either, if it's too much, just say, okay, that's it, I'll have to get it next time.
Yep, and that's kind of what I'm doing with a few of the conferences that I'm seeing or that are coming up. I'm just saying it's too much on my plate right now. I don't need to sit in that. It's not imperative. So I've already turned down 3 or 4 different invites to do the.
Well, I believe it. 47 emails a day.
550 minutes.
So it was. There he is. I sent that general government email to you.
Yes.
That's actually probably one of the, I like that committee because there's a lot of things that are going on there. It isn't just target different, just one or 2 or 3 things. There's like 10 different things, dozen different things that happen in that committee.
Anything
A
else,
lot of moving parts.
Carl?
That is all I have for you.
Any other committee reports?
I have one, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
Okay, so it's not, it wasn't a meeting that we had, but it's under EMS, you know. I was in Canada last week and, we're close to a town called Hartney, Manitoba, and the old owner of the property that we hunt on, lives in Hartney, and I was in his house talking to him, and we were talking EMS, and he said, well, we used to have an ambulance here, and, we don't need more, people to, you know, run it, and equipment costs, and I said, well, how long, Lloyd, does it take to get an ambulance here? And well, he said it could be an hour and a half, 2.5 hours to get one here from Surf. And he said, well, last December that he woke up and he had chest pains, you know. He'd been having some problems. So he drove to Surf, which was an hour away, and ended up having a stent put in his heart in Winnipeg. So I told him, you know, about what we're trying to do here in Grant County, and he goes, boy, if you can keep your EMS, boy, because they don't have ambulances anymore there, and that's not good. So I was up in Otter Tail County yesterday paying my taxes, and I ran into their emergency manager, and they're having a work study with the commissioners up there today on this EMS. I said, well, here's a story for you. So related, you know, we don't want that happening here. So that's my spiel today.
And I can touch on a little bit. I did that presentation over at general government for, you know, pull tabs and where we're headed with any kind of this gaming and what's happening. And I had discussions with Tori Westrom and Jordan Rasmussen, both state senators, and they're on board with me. They think that instead of us begging money for like armor radios and things like that, that we gotta start targeting some of this charitable gambling and the taxes that they do pay into the state, and whether we can claw some.
Absolutely not.
Why?
Why would Barrett Fire Relief go through raising money to pay taxes? That's all it is to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the charitable gambling is for giving back to the community, not for paying taxes.
No.
If you did,
No, the taxes that they pay into the state, you're misunderstanding what's happening.
so in the past, charitable gambling didn't pay a tax. The general revenue paid for the compliance of charitable gambling. Then the state said, no, we're not gonna do that anymore. We're gonna tax charitable gambling to pay for the compliance. So do you think the state's gonna pick up the compliance part? And then take that tax and put it over here? No, they're gonna take that tax from whatever percentage it is now and at least double it. So there's less money going to your Boy Scouts.
No,
There's less money going to all these individuals.
it's the other way.
There's X number of dollars that a charitable gambling will raise. The more that the state takes, the less that your local community gets.
That's actually not.
This is math, Bill. There's no way to spin that. That is math. If I have $100 and 20 of it has to go to the state, I can give out 80. If I have to give 40 to the state, now it's 60.
It's a 273% increase since 22 of taxes and what they wanted to, when I was on the fire department, we used to have hundreds of thousands of dollars before even the state was stepping in on it. Okay, well, that's what I'm driving at is the state that's collecting it, it's going into the general fund. That's what I'm talking about is revenue coming back for all charitable gambling. That whether it be a Lions, whether it be a fire department, whether it be a hockey association, all of that. Allied Charities is all on board with this. I ain't kidding you, this is bigger than what you think it is. You're gonna end up with more revenue throughout here.
And you're gonna wind up with more tax on your charitable gambling.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
you
raise the
will.
tax. No,
Yes, you will.
no, that's not true. No, they're on board with it.
So if it's going into the general revenue fund, why don't they just say, okay, well, we're gonna give more money out of the general revenue fund? Why do we need to say that it's the tax on charitable gambling?
They can do whatever they wanna do. I don't care one way or the other. It's just that they're gonna utilize more revenue in local.
If it's coming out of the general revenue fund, they have no reason to say it's gonna be charitable gambling tax.
No, but they can crack the tax.
They intend to increase the tax on charitable gambling.
They never said
That's the
that.
only reason to bring that up, the specific source. That's the only reason to bring up a specific source is they intend to increase that tax.
That didn't come out of the discussion with Rachel from Allied Charities. They've been working on this for the last probably 5-8 years.
Then you
Oh,
can go back to
actually,
paying
that
for
was the-
compliance out of the general revenue and quit taxing charitable gambling. So you can
that's-
go to your local sources.
Correct. That's what's happening, but they're not gonna give it all up, Troy.
The one thing, being involved in Hoffman at the Lions Club, there's the margin on what's left to give to the Boy Scouts is pretty narrow.
Yeah,
I mean, it's 10-12%.
if you go back,
All these dollars, and when you sift it all through between the cost of the games and pay the seller and taxes and the accounting, it's crazy.
if you go back to the heydays, I mean, of pull tabs. Yeah, once you sold over $1 million, it was, you didn't have any money to give away anymore, because you paid all in tax. Now they changed some of that. And there's less sales, but
And then
when they changed it from the general fund paying for the compliance to taxing the entities to pay for that compliance, that's now why you have 10% margins.
And then,
Right,
and then if
exactly.
you get over $1 million and you got a $4,000 audit.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, this is
But
just.
I don't know if who's correct, and maybe you're both are correct, and you just, I don't know on that part of the discussion, so I can't
Allied
say.
Charities from the cities down there, they've been pushing for this, like I said, for the last 5-8 years. And when they seen a 273% increase since 22, it's a $300 to $400 million price tag that goes directly into the general fund. Right, so they're figuring out, and Allied Charities would love to see, they were tickled that I reached out to them and actually brought it to AMC. And there's a lot of people that have called after that and quizzed me a little bit about it, so they're creating some type of, legislation in place to take to the state this semester. And this is and Allied Charities is gonna take the lead on it. And I'm hoping AMC sponsors. It'll be more revenue staying locally.
Not when you get the state involved. If you got the state out of it, there would be more revenue staying locally.
Yeah. But like I
But
said,
now you're making more laws. When have you ever kept more money when you've made more laws? There you go.
I don't know, you just gotta figure out, you know, different mechanisms of clawback. I've got help on this, and then, you know, on the count, this is a statewide thing.
So maybe what we should do is, and I'm not, like I say, I'm hearing both of you. But if you're a little bit driving this bus, that you're hearing Troy and that,
Yeah,
if Troy is correct. That when you're at a place where you're impacting some discussion that you remember this, does that make sense, Troy? You got anything
Yep.
to add, Carl?
Being thrown into the woods with some of this stuff, I've only got so much time to dig into charitable gambling, to these different things, and this is. Bill has been running with this for
Yeah.
a while, and I understand what he's saying, and I understand that, yes, there's tax implications for charitable gambling. Those numbers and how it affects Grant County, I don't know yet.
Well, all I can tell you,
Different in this right now.
it's different entities between the Lions and the Fairgrounds.
having spent 10 years as the CEO of a charitable gambling entity, all I can tell you is anytime the state talks about taxes on that entity, you lose money.
Well, anything other committee reports? I'll then adjourn the meeting at 9:55. We did well.
Very well.